RB Leipzig taking on Bayern Munich before we get Luis Miguel's thoughts on that one. And before we hear from the wonder kid, Jamal Musiala, let's get a preview of this one from a German football legend and one of our colleagues at ESPN FC.
Jurgen Klinsmann, as a Bayern man, are you worried about Leipzig?
I would have a lot of respect for this Leipzig side and for the club itself, because they are growing. They're getting every year a little bit better. They're getting every year a little bit hungrier and nastier, and they want to challenge Bayern Munich in the long run. And what they've done in the Super Cup was highly, highly impressive. There was an outstanding performance. And they're waiting now for Bayern Munich coming to Leipzig, and they want to give them a real game. Obviously, the favorites for the title is still Bayern. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at the table now, there are several teams that really challenge Bayern Munich and make it far more interesting this season. And when you can see the goals there, Dani Olmo had an incredible game in that Super Cup match against Bayern Munich. And so it's going to be a real competitive match. And I don't know, maybe it ends up in a tie. I wouldn't say that Leipzig has to win this game, but they will give everything they have against the Bayern Munich side. It will be a fascinating game.
Luis Miguel, it's funny what you can do with statistics, because RB Leipzig hasn't beaten Bayern at home since 2018, Naby Keita and Timo Werner. However, they've won the last two meetings between the sides and are unbeaten in three, including a 3-0 win at the Allianz Arena. Two really good sides. Both have won 4 times in the Bundesliga this season. Bayern drawing 1, RB Leipzig losing 1. But Bayern have to go to Leipzig. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, this is a tricky one to figure out, Mark, just because of all the things that you said with the statistics, specifically that one about how well they started, and 2 wins against Bayern Munich in a row already, including that DFL Cup win 3-0. After winning that game, they lost to Bayern Leverkusen. But since then, Leipzig has just won. I believe it's just one game in all those victories where they haven't scored at least 3 goals, and they look great. And just like Jurgen Klinsmann said there, every season they want a little bit more, because they really want the story to be more than just Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund for the Bundesliga title. And Xavi Simons is playing well for RB Leipzig. They already have Forsberg, a dynamic presence in the midfield. This is a very good Leipzig, and I think that they're really gonna go for it in this one. Not to mention too, by the way, that Bayern Munich, of course, Harry Kane is looking great. Mm-hmm. I believe that's 7 goals already. Despite Serge Gnabry's injury, they still have enough potency to make it happen, because they are, after all, Bayern Munich. But including, that Champions League match against Manchester United, they do show a little vulnerability at the back, despite the big names defensively, including De Ligt, of course, and Kim. So I see goals, because the Bundesliga is so wonderful when it comes to these fixtures. I can't help but see it. I'm going to be boring, MD. I think it's a draw, this one. I think it's a high-scoring draw, perhaps 3-0.
Certainly take that as a neutral. But that Super Cup that you mentioned, with RB Leipzig winning by 3-0, Harry Kane coming off the bench as a sub, and he has got 7 goals this season in the Bundesliga, just 3 behind Guirassy of Stuttgart. How does RB Leipzig stop Harry Kane?
I don't know. How do you stop Harry Kane? Harry Kane is feeding off the fruits of labor from just the protection that he has. I know that we're going to have Jamal Musiala talking in a second. Players like that are just great for somebody like Harry Kane, because he's not your prototypical striker. He's not somebody that just relies in the center of the box. He likes to move on the left and on the right. He goes deep and assists as well, of course. So it's going to be a very compact, almost collective thinking way of marking and managing Harry Kane's threats. You cannot, if you want to stop Harry Kane, specifically against Bayern Munich, specifically with Bayern Munich, you can't just think about Harry Kane. It has to be the collective, because there's too much threatening assets from Bayern Munich for RB Leipzig to just worry about Harry Kane. But you can win, but you still would probably allow a Harry Kane goal.
Full coverage on ESPN Plus in the United States of that one. It's the game of the weekend, RB Leipzig against Bayern Munich. Someone hoping to start in the game is Jamal Musala. He began the season fit and healthy, played against Werder Bremen, and then suffered a thigh injury, a hamstring injury that kept him out for a few games. He's back and available, and he's been speaking to ESPN FC.
Yeah, I think if I look back over the last year or two, I think I've progressed pretty well. I feel like feel a bit smoother. I feel physically stronger, and all the positions you get into in games will keep coming up, and I'll just keep gaining experience from each game, and I'll learn from every moment. I think over time it will just hopefully keep getting better, and I'll keep putting in the work so everything keeps improving. Yeah, I think I work every day, and after every training or game, and then day for day at home and everything, just try to do everything that can take me to the next level. And I want to improve season after season, and I have to look at the little things which can take me further. And I'll try to start at a young age with, I don't know, nutrition, the extra work, so I can have more stamina on my shooting, like every little thing to work on, and then season by season, hopefully I get better. And I always ask for advice or anything, because there's a lot of players I play around with who've been around longer than I have, and there's so many people who can give me advice, and I just try to take everything on and try and implement it and learn from it and try and get better.
Very similar to Jude Bellingham at the age of 20, with a head very definitely screwed on and know where he's at. And if he can get fit and stay fit, then never mind what threat he is to RB Leipzig, but he's a threat to everybody that Bayern play. Musiala and Kane and all the rest of the supporting cast. That's frightening, isn't it?
Oh, it's so scary. I'm such a fan of Jamal Musala ever since he broke into the senior team and followed him very closely. He is a tremendous talent. And to your point, he is so focused on the task at hand. And that feature, by the way, on ESPN is great because, he talks about, and you see it in the video, how he's still learning, he's still focusing. And just like you said, Jude Bellingham is of the same DNA. Very lucky Bayern Munich to have Jamal Musiala. He's an unbelievable one. By the way, reports all over the place that Man City are looking for him as a Kevin De Bruyne replacement. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few seasons.
Well, they need to get the checkbook out if that is the case, because he would not be cheap.